Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you for tuning in to to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. Supportive Oracle cards, Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Okay, already shuffled. I got like a really big surge of like positive energy, which I'm like, well, let's find out what that's about. Let's see where we're going with that. Like something went up. There's like a big upswing. A big upswing. One. Ooh. And I say that, and then like I'll show you in a minute. Obviously. The Tower card reversed and the Four of Cups at the bottom here. This is something you're moving away from. Something that left you with a bad taste in your mouth. The Tower card. The Tower card reversed is telling me, like, something fell apart. This is in the past. I'm feeling like this is in the past. But it feels like something kind of fell apart, and it was just kind of like watching it slowly fall apart. And feeling something in the past, like you walked away from something. Did you walk away from it, or just you had to move on from it? And it slowly just kept falling apart until finally you realized it was done. This is in your past, though. And they're saying... a self-audit may help you greatly at this point. If this reading ends up hitting with you, which we have half the frickin' deck out here anyway. If this reading ends up hitting for you, doing a self-audit on this last situation that when it seems to be coming around to your heart, seems to be like popping into your brain when you're going into this next one, whatever you walked away from, just doing that self-audit. Not in the sense of like, I wish, don't do that. But I like to do it in the sense of like, well, this is what happened. That's what I did. Knowing what I know now, this is what I would have rather done. And just going through it the whole way, this is what I'd rather have done. Because you might have a repeat effect coming in. And if you already have it in the back of your brain, like this is what I would have rather done instead of that. I'd rather have taken it this way than that way. When it comes forward next time, because I feel like you might be repeating something, but you might have an opportunity to make good on a situation that maybe in the past, like we're human. There's none of us who don't make mistakes. And I'm feeling if you look in the past and you're like, well, I wish I handled it this way rather than that way. When this comes around this next time around, you might actually be able to do it in a way that you make out instead of end up with a loss. Because the last situation, the Five of Wands is there. No, that's the Five of Swords. And it feels like the Five of Wands the way they have that picture on there. That's why I have that, though. The Seven of Wands is telling me, even though there's a lot of conflict at the end of it, that last situation. At the end of the last situation, there was some conflict at the end of it. You did overcome. It did work out best you could. Like, you got whatever you could out of it. The other person seemed to just kind of float away, or whoever it was, or whatever the situation was, it just seemed to dissipate slowly. I just feel like if you look back now, before this next situation starts, you can set yourself up for any pitfalls you might come across. We're all human, you know what I mean? We're here to evolve. It's just how it is. It's just having that humility to realize, and I definitely know this, I learned the hard way. I'm one of those. I know that I'm one of those. I'm a hard way learner. Because the next thing that's coming in is coming in really fast. So they're like, as soon as you're starting to have these inklings, like I remember that last situation and that didn't end that well, and it kind of dragged out longer than it should have, and there was some conflict at the end. It did work out, and it kind of went its own way, and I watched it slowly fall apart. But I'd like to just look back at it, like what do I wish I had done versus what I actually did done. Maybe not the word wish, but what would I have rather have done? That way, if something comes up again, I'll handle it differently. Putting a lot of energy in that, I know. Because the next thing coming in comes in very quick. Comes in very quick with the Eight of Wands. Requires a lot of work with the Three of Pentacles. It's positive energy. It is positive energy. I see, when I think of Sagittarius, I don't see them usually fretting about getting things done. It's just kind of like, that needs to get done, and then there they go. Oh, that's undone. And there they go. They seem to just move on it. They don't have time to fret. They don't give themselves time to fret, from the ones I know, just to be fair. They just seem to go into it. They're just like, oh, it needs to be done. Here we go. Let's just do it. Your energy doing that seems to be, this is what you get involved in with this next situation. You just seem to get sucked right into it, and literally you get into it really quick. Things need to get done. This next situation is just like things need to get done, and you just seem to, I'm trying to like hit on something a little bit more, like I keep saying it, but I'm like, what else is there? Because you got the Page of Wands. No, it's the Page of, is that the Page of Wands? It is the Page of Wands. I was going to say Pentacles. There's a Pentacle coming up. Well, we'll see. You'll see why that in a second. You got the Ace of Pentacles coming up forward. You're getting sucked right into this situation. You're just acting on it. You're getting the support, like somebody's mirroring what you're doing. Mirroring it. Now, it's almost like, you know, if you walk into a room and everything's all over the place and in disarray, and you're just instinctively just picking this up, pushing that there, cleaning this up, putting that in the laundry. I don't know why we're saying it that way, but that's like, it just, this doesn't go there. We're gonna need a broom, and the other person's like watching you do this, and they're stepping right in, and they're doing the same thing you're doing. They're aiding you. They're assisting you. They're complementing your efforts. They're not getting in your way. They're like, you're like, okay, we got to pick this up. That has to get picked up too. They're like, right, and they just go over there and they do it. You know what I mean? That it's a complementing energy to you. But it's like nobody's really leading. It's just kind of like it needs to get done, and both of you are just going on autopilot and getting it done. This is face down. This person is looking at you as a leader. You take action, they follow. That's how this is setting up this way. This is a beginning of a whole situation right now. Now, this is a very crucial part. Like when I'm saying that audit thing, looking back on the last situation and how that kind of went sour, realizing right off the bat, this person is seeing you as a leader. They're following your lead. Because the path is face down. It's completely on their side. It's a little off to the side. Whatever you do, they're reactive to whatever you do. So if you, for example, if you like say, well, we need to do this. We need to be here on Tuesday. We need to be here at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. Their supporting energy would be like, they would make sure that the transportation is there. The money would be there, that they're available, and they'll support you in what needs to happen to make that happen, but you're the one calling the shot. Be aware of this. Because sometimes I've noticed this with Sagittarians too. They don't like that. Depending on how that energy hits for you, that's stereotypical, I know. But if you see it right off the bat, you're going to realize that that's how this energy is working. It's very supportive, very complimenting, but it's not wanting to lead. This energy, I do not feel wanting to lead. I'm just getting it over. Whatever the situation, and it may not be always. Some people have come across this and they notice like they can be with a person or deal with a person who 90% of the time they'll take the lead, they'll go forward. But in certain situations, like when it comes to children, or it comes to logging information, or it's like making sure this was taken care of by that person, because it can go in any realm, whatever realm you're dealing with. It is a general read. There's this one piece that they will never take the lead on. There's just always this one section they won't do it. If you see it in the beginning, if you know it in the beginning, and some people are like, it depends on what you're dealing with. They could be most things. They could be everything they won't take the lead on. They'll just follow and support. If you see it in the beginning for how it's going and see it for who this person is, it will be a lot easier on you. You'll be able to set this up going forward, deciding what you need to do with this. Whatever the situation is that you took the lead on in this situation, even if this person is normally a leader, they are depending on you to take the lead on this situation. Keep that in mind. Because what I'm getting here, this is very interesting, because you do very well. You're very happy with the support you got with that situation, and I feel like you might not realize that you led the whole way, because they supported you. They didn't ask for you to tell them what to do. They just followed your lead, and just like, you, for example, you were doing this over there, like, oh, that needs to be done too. And they just went over and did it. You might not have even realized you said, oh, that needs to be done too. And then they just did it. You know what I mean? You may not realize that that's why they did that. You're very happy with how that first situation worked out. Very complimentary. You're feeling very suited to the situation. Very like it worked out optimally. They're giving this Ace of Pentacles. That's why I'm beating this to death. I know I'm really beating it to death. They're saying this, how it starts, is how it goes, how it ends. It will always be this way. You will be the one leading the whole way. This other person will not do it. They also have the Three of Swords here. They don't like leading in this situation. Whatever it is, the Three of Swords on their side is telling me they don't like leading in this situation. They don't seem to have confidence. They seem to think things go awry when they do, or they don't like it for whatever reason. That boat is very intriguing on this card, because the Three of Swords, I don't usually see a boat on there. But I feel like they're trying to like kind of sail away from the problem, and sail away from having the heartache by letting somebody else have the control. Again, this how it starts is how it goes, how it ends. It's not going to change. Because as you keep going forward with this situation, if you don't realize it now, you will realize it later, because you're going to realize that it's always on you to make the decision. It's always on you to call the shot. And I feel like, and I've noticed this with Sagittarians, you can tell me if you don't think I'm right, but even though you tend to maybe take the lead, maybe that's not something you want to do. And it may get on your nerves a little bit. The other side, nourishment, they love it. You taking the lead, you calling the shots, they will support you all day and all night. They'll hold up their end of the bargain, as long as things don't get like a little bit combative between the two of you, because you might get annoyed. You might get annoyed and make very, very vocal. You may be very vocal about that. Like, why do I always have to call the shots? Why is it me always rolling the dice? They will support you as long as the energy is smooth. You know what I mean? As long as you're getting along, they'll follow you, they'll support you. If you seem to have like a more of a combative attitude between each other, they might kind of slack off to the side. I feel like there's going to be a part where you don't want to lead this situation anymore. But they're telling me the success of this situation is dependent on you leading it. Because you're going to get sick of it. You're going to be like, well, why do I have to lead all the time? Like, why do I have to lead all the time? This is also like a thing with the self-audit. Like, there may be, the situation that you're starting off with, I don't feel like you're going to get out of that. But you might, if you're dealing with other components with this person, you might have some type of negotiating ability with other things. If you're dealing with other things with this same person. But you're going to have to set that up right. You're going to have to set that up right in the beginning. Right in the beginning. And this Three of Swords kind of repeats they won't want to. But if you make the rule right in the beginning, this is what you're responsible for. I'll do this. You're responsible for that. And you're going to have to kind of spot check it. You're going to have to spot check it. I'm sorry, but that's what I'm feeling with this. It will have a greater degree of success. This could work out a lot longer. Remember, you're going to have to spot check it, though. It just feels like it's one of those things. This person doesn't feel like they like to do the leading thing. But, for example, if you're just spot checking and you're like, well, you got to do that. You got to make sure that this out front of the building is taken care of. You got to make sure those people over there are taken care of. And you're like, those are your responsibilities. And you just once a week say, remind, like, how's that going? Tell me how that's going. Tell me how this is going. And they'll get used to you asking, and they'll preemptively make sure that they're on the ball and they stay on it. It's almost like technically you're leading again, but just by keeping up on it, making sure they're staying to it. This is the energy I'm feeling for you, just to be fair. Because I feel like this can be successful longer, realizing that's how it's going. The way this is going out of this energy, there is success going on here, but I'm also getting like the King of Wands reversed on your side. It's really making me feel for you that you're still leading, but you're getting fed up with it. You're getting kind of over it. You're kind of like, I'm constantly leading. I'm constantly the one in charge here. You're hoping it's going to work out, but there's going to be a point where you're kind of like, I'm sick of the one that has to always lead. I don't want to constantly be leading. Why can't somebody else step up and do something too? I just feel like it's getting on your nerves. When you get to that point where you're sick of leading, that's where your death card is going to show up. And then it's saying that whoever you're dealing with, in whatever context you're dealing with them, the death card is coming up with the fear card, and it's telling me, like, this is the part where it's kind of like, how much longer can I take this? How much longer can I do it this way? Literally, the death card is telling me this situation, this person, whoever you're dealing with, it's only successful as long as you're okay leading. Once you don't want to lead anymore, I'm getting you're going to cut your connections with this person. Justice comes in. The Knight of Swords comes in. They'll talk to you. They'll work it out with you. They'll understand how you feel. But I feel like you're literally going to go your own ways. It's just like this situation it's like it's going to have an expiration date. And it's realizing that and realizing that this doesn't have to end in a bad way. This could actually end in a positive way, whatever it is. But it's saying this is like a repeat of something in the past. This is showing you a positive way this could work out. And just the more, like, it seems like communication isn't a problem. It's just realizing what's going on and how it's happening and why it's playing out the way it's playing out. You'll be more at peace with it. And when it's time to move on, I actually feel like when it's time to move on, you'll be ready for this to move on. I don't think of this as a bad thing at all. I don't know how it sounds. But I'm getting like you can come to peace with this whole situation. It seems to be a spiritual growth moment where it's kind of like resolving the past and moving on to the future and ending a pattern. Literally ending a pattern. For those of you this is really hitting for, this is ending a pattern, is what I'm getting. Alright, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.